Courtney Stodden has criticized child marriage, referring to it as America's dirty little secret. She shared that at the age of 16, she was the primary financial provider in her marriage to actor Doug Hutchison, who was significantly older than her father. Stodden's story was featured in Lifetime's Ripped from the Headlines, where she discussed how her role in the marriage quickly changed as she began earning money for Hutchison. Reflecting on her past, Stodden said, "Realizing everything that has happened to me in present time has been a lot to process. When I first hit the spotlight as a young girl, my brain wasn't developed yet, and I had a certain image of what my life was. I thought I knew everything. I mean, what kid doesn't at 16? She continued. Then as things started to escalate quite quickly and my role seemed to shift in the marriage quite quickly, I became the breadwinner." Stodden addressed misconceptions about her marriage, stating, "People have a misconception that I married for money as a child, which they like to victim blame, which is insane. I mean, looking back on it, I was a child who was making money for a man older than my dad, and a lot of stuff I couldn't talk about. So when I would realize it then, I couldn't talk about it, and I stuffed it down, and that just led to a lot of self-destructive habits that I kept to myself." Now 31 years old, Stodden reflects on her past with a more developed perspective. "My brain is developed, and I'm starting to realize what really did happen to me, and it's been a pretty hard pill to swallow." Stodden married Hutchison when she was 16, and he was 51. She highlighted the issue of child marriage in America, saying, "Obviously, there's a problem in America. We think of child marriage as something that's like overseas or foreign, but really America's dirty little secret is the loophole in the judicial system for, in my opinion, pedophiles to marry children." She added, "And the scariest part of this whole thing is that I'm not alone. There are so many people that reach out to me and tell me their horror stories of being a child bride." Hutchison and Stodden had a tumultuous relationship, separating and reconciling multiple times before Stodden filed for divorce in 2018. The divorce was finalized in 2020. Throughout their marriage, Stodden faced intense criticism due to their 35-year age gap and dealt with public scrutiny for years. Stodden explained that she created a caricature of herself as a form of mental protection. "I created something at the time. I feel like I used my fashion as rebellion. And that's kind of how I would rebel and act out," she said. "And so, when people would criticize me, which they criticized me, the child, more than they did, the abuser, I just kind of brushed it off and would rebel in my fashion." She added, "And to me, they were not talking about me. They were talking about the character I created. And I think in a sense, that actually saved me in a lot of ways back then as a kid." Stodden admitted she eventually became that caricature as she entered adulthood. "Because, I was pushed to embrace it as I was entering adulthood," she explained. "And I just kind of became that Courtney Stodden character, so I did lose myself in that process quite a bit." In the Lifetime Ripped from the Headlines episode titled, "I Was a Child Bride, The Courtney Stodden Story," Stodden revisited her experience of being married at 16. The episode premiered on September 27 and featured Stodden as a producer and narrator. As she helped shape the episode by sharing her story, Stodden found it reopened wounds in her relationship with her father. "I think a lot of it stems back to the relationship with my father," she explained. "Because if you look at it, I got married at 16 and both of my parents believed that he was a good guy. And not having my dad really emotionally was a big catapult to this whole thing. So I think reopening that wound has been the most difficult thing for me to try to grasp." Stodden has since moved on from her past relationship. She married television producer Jared Safire in December 2024 in an impromptu ceremony attended by 20 people. Stodden expressed optimism about her marriage to Safire, saying, "He has shown me a new way of loving, like a fresh start almost. He's really been a pivotal person in my life that has somehow gained, not complete trust, but a lot of my trust. I don't know if I will ever completely trust again, but he's gained a lot of my trust, and I just feel safe with him." She continued, "That does not come easy for me to feel safe around anyone, let alone a male. So it's an everyday thing. I mean, he's a strong guy. Definitely can't be with someone who isn't strong, but he's just teaching me a new way of loving, introducing me to what a healthy love looks like."